You don't know me, and that's all right, because there were so many strangers after that horrible disaster. We didn't know people either. Just weeks before, they had been our enemy. We'd have been shooting at each other. But after America's worst maritime disaster, strangers came to the aid of other strangers. You may be thinking that I'm talking about the Titanic. Everyone seems to know about the sinking of the Titanic and the Astors and the Vanderbilts and the unsinkable famous people who were aboard Titanic. You may never have heard of the Sultana. The Sultana was a steamboat that went down right after the Civil War ended. 2,000 people were piled on a boat that was built to carry 240. These were Union soldiers, enlisted men, prisoners of war. They had survived the battlefields of the war. They had survived prison camp. They had survived even a train wreck. All to be killed on an overloaded boat that exploded in the Mississippi River, just outside Memphis, near Marion, Arkansas. It never got much attention in the press. You see, the war had ended just 2 weeks before. President Lincoln was shot. And right around the time that the Sultana went down, they caught Mr. Lincoln's assassin, and that was all people wanted to hear about. They were tired of the war, and they were tired of hearing about death. But that night, at 2 a.m., when the steamboat Sultana exploded in the swollen, storm-drenched Mississippi River, people like us who lived by the river thought it was daylight. My husband went out to get into his boat to start his day's work, and then he saw the horror that awaited. 2,000 bodies in that river piled up like log jam, but they were humans. Now my husband, like so many people in Arkansas and Tennessee, he fought for the Confederacy. 2 weeks before the war ended, and now he came out and risked his life to save those poor Union soldiers. It tears at my heart just to think of it, but what tears at my heart even more is that so few people know of the Sultana. So few people know of the compassion of strangers, know of the role of faith in saving them, know of the role of the miracle of enduring love, and the strength of the human spirit. All they asked was to be remembered. And I would ask you to help me remember. Please help me to tell their story, the story of the Sultana, the Civil War disaster that no one knows, because it's a story of compassion in wartime. It's a story of faith in adversity. It's a story of the miracle of enduring love. And it's a story of, well, the triumph of the human spirit to overcome so many odds and so much adversity. People like me rushed to the river to help the survivors in any way that we could. I do not think of myself as a hero any more than my husband did. Just weeks before, we had been enemies. Seeing those blue jackets might well have brought about a rifle burst. But seeing the agony of those poor human beings, our fellow Americans. If you don't know the story of the Sultana, please allow me to share it with you, because all they asked, after all that they went through, was please just to be remembered. And I would ask you, please let us remember.